What if you point a gun at a Jew? We will take that gun from your hand. We will not do it badly.
I just said you look old.
Okay, you self-proclaimed
Any
Christian.
questions?
What if you guys are the ones actually pointing the Jews and
He's
bullying
like,
them?
I'm
The topic, I want to know.
get off my lawn.
If you're the ones pointing the guns and bullying the world,
Yeah.
Well, we're not bullying the world. We're a tiny little country.
But you are.
No, we're not. How are we bullying the world? Explain to me.
You have bullied your neighbors.
Any small country that we were in the beginning.
Weird control with
We're one of the smallest countries in the world. How are we threatening the world?
I think Soren wants to pipe up. Guys, let's hear some other
Small
voices.
country that we were when we
Guys, mute up.
Yeah, let's hear Soren.
I want to hear from Soren. Soren, go.
Look, obviously the previous speaker, the mouthpiece of Hezbollah agent Lomo, he didn't cover Balfour Declaration. He didn't talk about the fact that this...
How is that relevant to anything?
Well, it was very relevant because the
How is it
Rothschild
relevant?
letter...
Aldo, stop talking.
I mean, the Rothschild letter is very clear. I mean, the Balfour Declaration is pretty much clear. It says this land should be shared among the...
And that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah, I mean, the matter of
It's
fact...
the League of Nations that matters and the United
I mean,
Nations.
the reality is that when you look at the populations of indigenous people of
Like the
Palestine,
Jews.
we
Like
had
the Jews.
Palestinians, most of them. We had
All right,
Palestinians.
don't interrupt Eleanor or I'm going to give him more time. Soren, you have 1 minute starting from now.
Thank you.
I mean, I've heard this guy 1,000 times. There's no
All right, you have 2 minutes starting from now. Stop talking, Eleanor.
I'm going to watch the game.
You have 3 minutes starting from now, Soren.
Thank you. So Balfour Declaration, when you look into it, it was actually signed in the 2nd of November. Okay, let's see the populations of the area which was known as a territory in Palestine at that time. It is very clear. The population is very clear when it came to the
$90 billion
ethnic
to
minorities, which at that time were Jews. In 1917, ladies and gentlemen, we had 56,000 Jews living in Palestine. Only 56,000. And then, if we move forward to the 1947, 1948, when these settlement colonial projects happened, 660,000 Jews. The question you might ask is this: how did the population grow from 56,000 from 1917 all the way to 1947, 1948? I mean, we're talking about something like 30 years. This massive population growth did not happen organically. It did not happen because they started having 7, 8 babies. It happened through the massive immigrations, mainly because of what happened in the Second World War, the Nazi Holocaust. A lot of Ashkenazi Jews decided to leave.
They're right.
Russia, and they
That's
came.
the right.
So this did not happen organically. So we're talking about an area which for years and years and years, the Mizrahi Jew, what is known as Mizrahi Jew today, along with their cousins, the Arabs, the Muslims, they were living together. They had pretty much the same culture, same rituals, same lifestyle. But he believes in Hashem, they believe in Allah. The other one believes in Jesus. But they know the area, they know the neighborhood. And all of a sudden, they opened the door, they realized that some people coming, to them, they were Europeans. To them, there are some people coming from Poland, from Russia, from Germany. And they had to come, and they came through what is known as Nakba. They displaced hundreds of thousands of Palestinians to other lands. This is the Palestinian perspective. This is the fact that the reason they didn't accept that very first declaration in 1948 is because they knew that these people, that 52,000, yes, they were original, they were authentic, they were indigenous people of the land. But the massive immigration happened afterwards, but mainly as a result of the Second World War. They didn't see that as organic immigration. They see them as invaders. So you might make this argument that 3,000 years ago their grandfather passed by Jerusalem. You can make that argument. But the matter of people at that time, they knew, and these people are not from there. They knew the Yaakov from Jerusalem, one of those 50,000, but they didn't know the other one from Poland. They said these people, they didn't even speak the language. They didn't speak the language that the Israeli Jews were speaking at that time. They saw them with a different culture, with different food, and that's why they didn't accept. They said, okay, you are 10% of the population, you can have 10% of the land, but not 50%. That's the way that I think the way to look at it. But again, you can make this argument that the Jews passed by them 3,000 years ago. Self-determination means that even self-determination of Jews living in Poland. You make this argument, but people are going to laugh at it.
Okay, thanks for explaining, Soren. That's very good information. I would like to add that if it were me, I mean, if I would look at myself, and I would be 3, 4 generations into living in another country, but my people are still living there in Iran, I would make the case that I have every single right to move there back again, especially after the Second World War. So if that makes me an Iranian Zionist, then I am an Iranian Zionist.
Can I ask a question to Soren? Go for it. So I understood that you just explained the Palestinian perspective and also just like kind of glossed over the Jewish perspective. But why is the Palestinians' history more relevant than our history?
Can I answer that, Soren?
Go for it.
Thank you. That's a very good question, right? And the answer is very simple. The relevance depends on what are the actual turn of events. When people say like Palestinians didn't make a deal because they didn't want peace, that's absolutely ridiculous. I'll tell you why. If this is my house and somebody from the outside comes and says like, oh, this land belonged to someone else like thousands of years ago, so please give me 10% of your land. For them it might be a good deal, but for me it's still a bad deal because I'm losing my house on the pretext of what? Nothing.
But
So that's why when that's why when I say like this is my house, I need to protect it, that right now in this narrative is relevant. But if somebody else is coming and saying, but I only asked for 10%, just give me the 10%, that does not stand any relevance. As I said, like I am a Kashmiri, right? And my ancestry is from Iran. But under no circumstance can I go back to Iran right now and say like, oh, excuse me, my great-grandfather was from here, like probably 150, 200 years ago. So give me your piece of land and kick somebody who's already living him out because apparently I am the real, I'm the real person from that place. It does not stand the relevance in the eyes of International Court of Justice.
Yeah, Cora, but you're not acknowledging the fact that Palestinians willingly left. And then some of them were expelled, right, Em? Okay.
Left where?
But okay. No, but so in 48, some of them left because of fear, right, of the war. No, because they were told that they were
There's actually no evidence of that. They did research.
That's not true.
That is a myth. That is one of the myths that they teach kids in school.
It's not true. They willingly left to neighboring countries.
Okay, can you give me
So many of them tried to come back, and Israelis
Did Palestinians not go to Lebanon? Did they not go to Egypt?
Yeah, and they were told to be temporary, and when they tried to come back, they were killed.
But Buttercup, but the problem is that they. Can I just?
Not all of
They're
them.
actually,
but I'm trying.
one authentic
Cora, let's actually settle this because this is important.
I'm trying
Cora,
to
this is a myth about the expulsion in 1948 that we need to settle.
Buttercup, can you let me finish my sentence? I was.
Yes.
And everybody's
Yeah,
interrupting.
the mic is yours, girl.
Okay. You agree that there were Palestinians that willingly left, okay?
Yes, and do you agree that
Hold on.
Genuinely.
Hey, Cora, stop interrupting, please. We're having a conversation, okay?
No, you're interrupting, Buttercup.
I know, but this is something. Listen, Em and I have the same Zionist indoctrination, so I need to settle this with her. It's very important.
Indoctrination? You're literally
Because I was told the same stories as you, and this is why we need to settle it.
Because you're cosplaying as a Zionist. Don't call yourself a Zionist.
I'm a post-Zionist, not a Zionist.
You're disgusting is what you are. But anyways,
I'm being kind to you. I've never said anything to you.
Just because she doesn't fall into your myths that you created, like self-proclaimed witches.
So Cora, let us have it back and forth, okay? Just give us the mic for 2 seconds, because I think this is something we both heard the same. We were raised with the same information, and then there was a point when I picked up a history book and I read the other side of the story, and I'm not saying you're wrong, Em. I'm saying you only have half the story. I suspect.
I just want Em to.
Can I just
Cora, you're really making me
finish my train of thought? Buttercup, you agreed that there were Palestinians that willingly left. Whether
Some,
we agree,
yes.
hold on. Okay, thank you.
But
Whether
they're
we
out of
agree,
fear, though, and they tried to come back.
I'm not telling you.
Stop
Jesus
interrupting.
Christ. You hold people to like a standard, but then you're like, you
The
contradict
mic is yours.
yourself.
Keep going.
Okay, we don't agree on why they left, but let's move on from there. Okay?
But
Then-
can we just settle that you agree that
I said.
you agree 30,000 for expelled from Lebanon?
I give up. Buttercup, you're right. No worry.
Okay, well, we need to acknowledge the multiple truths,
This is what you want,
We need to establish the facts. Some left, some were expelled, right?
Fucking let her finish speaking.
No, this is the stupidity that
Oh,
Rafi
excuse
allows
me.
in his room. It's fucked up.
No, Chloe, we need to establish some facts. That's what we're doing here.
I'm trying to finish a train of thought and then you can debate me. Like, what is
You asked me to confirm a question. I'm saying let's establish the facts together.
Stop interrupting.
Chloe, stop. We're trying to establish a fact.
Em, go on, please.
No, it's
We're trying to establish whether they left or were expelled. Let's establish that.
Em, finish your.
No, it's okay, girl. It's okay. Honestly, I just. Well, we're trying to establish a basic fact before we move on.
One at a time.
No, Rafi, honestly, shame on
Why shame on me?
you for letting somebody like this mod your fucking room.
What do you mean shame on me for letting somebody mod this room? Guys, you're getting on stage to debate them. I
Yes,
give a
but
fair debate,
Buttercup
so you want me
keeps
to
interrupting Em and
silence
doesn't
it?
let
Hold
her
up.
speak.
Hold on.
We're
So
trying
you
to establish a fact, Chloe.
Well, I understand, but no interrupting. Everybody gets 1 minute to speak, 1 to 2 minutes. Land your plane, and nobody interrupts. Somebody interrupts, you give them an extra minute.
Okay, but if you ask me a direct question, like, did they all leave?
I think I'm allowed like 15 minutes at this point.
Okay, well then don't ask me rhetorical questions on the way.
Again, guys, just land your planes, make your peace, say your comments.
Go, you have a minute. Go.
If anybody wants to rebuttal it. Go, guys, seriously. It's not like children. I'll do this.
And the mic's on you. Go.
No, I'm good. I have nothing to say to you.
All right, so I'll go first. So, like M points out, there is a narrative that most of the Palestinians in 1948 left of their own volition, right? As some people say, there was a radio warning from the Arab armies that were coming in, warning them that they were about to come in, and then the Arabs fled, and that's why the Nakba happened, right? That is a narrative that I was raised with. It's a narrative that M was raised with. It's a narrative that probably Rafi was raised with, right? However, the new historians in Israel, looked through the archives. In the 80s and 90s, the IDF declassified their archives about what happened in 1948 during the war, and they revealed some explicit orders, particularly in Lud and Ramla, to evict the tens of thousands of Palestinians at gunpoint. And initially, the plan was only to come in to towns and villages that were hostile to the Israelis, because there were some towns and villages in 1948 that were not hostile to the Israelis, and they were supposed to spare them, but that's not what happened. They ended up being indiscriminate and running through many villages and expelling the citizens of many villages that in fact were friendly or sympathetic to the Israelis. And so in the 1990s and 80s, when they declassified this information, Benny Morris and Avi Shlaim and all these new historians in Israel kind of reset the record. It's not that you and I were lied to, it's that they only told us half the story. They only told us about the people that fled, and they didn't tell us about the people that were exiled.
I need you to tell me that I was lied to.
You were not lied to. You were told half the story.
No, I wasn't.
All right, now you can have the mic. No. Okay, so as I was saying, the other half of the story is that tens of thousands of people were expelled from Lud and Ramla, and that is in the IDF records that became declassified in the 90s that kind of reset the narrative, right? But, you know, I don't know how old you are, Em, but I was born a little bit before those things became part of the narrative, so I was told, like you, kind of a sugar-coated version of what happened in 1948. I would love to hear what you think about 1948 and how it unfolded. But I think the consensus today is that many of them were forced out at gunpoint. Some of them fled in fear because there were massacres. The IDF soldiers came in and massacred people in very brutal ways, and there are many, many IDF records and accounts that document that. And some of them did in fact leave of their own volition. So yes, there was a combination of the three.
the fact is, Buttercup, that M's opinions are based on opinions, not facts. So when you ask her to present something, she was absolutely believed. That's because she doesn't have anything to prove.
That's not true. It's because you spoke over me. You spoke over me, and I would have finished my point, and you could have said, "Can you provide sources?" I would have provided the sources for you. But I'm not gonna fight. I'm not gonna fight two people at talking over me, and not even letting me
That's
finish
fair.
the sentence.
So we're gonna give you the mic for a minute.
No,
and
no,
we're gonna
I'm
interrupt
not. I'm not talking to you because you guys don't.
I want to
You
hear your
don't.
opinion.
It's
No,
I want to hear what you
And
have
by
to
the
say.
way,
I'm actually curious.
Listen, how do you guys expect her to even say anything when every time she wants to talk, you talk over her and she loses her train of thought? Why would she even engage with you when you can't have a civil conversation and you want to be a dictator all the time? Stop interrupting her.
It's because she doesn't want to speak, Lo. She literally said that. She doesn't want to.
We're begging her to speak, Glow. She won't speak.
She's not going to speak to
Discussion.
you.
You have to.
All right, Cora, you're going to shut up, and we're going to give her a minute to speak on her own. We're not going
How
to talk,
hard can
okay?
it be? Are you civilized?
Yes, Glow, stop calling us names. Okay, Cora, we're going to be quiet, and we're going to just leave silence in the room until M's ready to talk.
I don't even think she wants to talk to you guys anymore.
Yeah, no fucking shit, Glow.
I can talk.
You
Go
can
ahead.
literally just chat GPT why Palestinians left willingly.
Well, I can see
In 1948. Sorry? No, I'm just saying, you know what, it's not even worth my research to talk to you guys.
Why is that? Why that's such a cop out?
No, don't downplay Palestinian pains. Don't say it's not worth my time.
It's not worth my time because talking to you is not worth my time.
Downplaying people.
Talking to you is not worth my time.
Unlike you, we have suffered. Unlike you, we have suffered.
Who's we? Are you Palestinian? No, you're not. Okay.
Kapora, I'm just curious. Like, you can ask, or not Kapora, excuse me. If you look at, you can just do Chat GPT, whatever you want. Just ask it why did the majority of Christians leave Palestine? These aren't the rabid Muslims. These aren't the terrorists, the jihadists. Ask why did they leave? What were the conditions that made them leave?
Pepe, I'm not talking about Christians, and I don't care. I really
But
don't care.
but the Christian Palestinians, they are Palestinian.
But they were mostly a minority, and that's a separate conversation than what I think I jumped in on. The whole 1948 conversation and how, like, the whole Zionist narrative, like, we were only told half the truth. Okay, fine, whatever. But if you want to say that all of our history is BS, or that we only got half the truth, is there really nothing of the Palestinian narrative that's maybe they got half the truth? Maybe not everything that they were told growing up, or that they were told from their family members is also true? Do you think that's also a possibility? Or
Who are you asking? Who are you talking
I'm asking
to?
generally, but I mean, I came in here when Buttercup was talking about 1948, Benny Morris, new historians, and Cora, I think you're Palestinian, right? Is there a possibility, maybe?
She's not Palestinian.
I'm not Palestinian.
Okay, whatever. Well, okay, well, you seem to be catering to their side for whatever.
It's because we have a very similar story from where I come.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
I'm Christian as well. Yeah.
what's your background? Sorry.
I'm sorry, I'm not comfortable disclosing that.
Okay, so the general story is that you can whatever happened with what happened to the Palestinians in the general narrative and scope of the world, history of the world, isn't so different than what happened to many peoples across the world. So to take the Palestinian narrative and highlight it that it's so unique across history is really a disservice generally to history. First of all, yes, I'm not done. Hold on. Secondly, this whole Benny Morris, 1948, new historians, taking a mirror to Israeli Jewish society, like, look what you've done. Even that book, and even Benny Morris would say himself, right, that it's not fully, it was researched, but it's not 100% complete. That's not the best word I'm using. But even he would say that there was no you could say displacement until maybe 47, 48, first of all. Second of all, it wasn't an Israeli army policy, an official policy of the government of the Knesset to kick out any Palestinians because if you look at Israel today, you see most of the Israeli Arabs live in the north, and most of the south does not have any Israeli Arabs. That's because there were one of the two main generals, one of them decided it was best to kick out, remove, or deal with most of the Israeli Arabs in the south. For whatever reason, there was a war. This happens during a war. And in the north, that wasn't necessary. And also, even after the war...
It's true. He does say it was because of war, not by design. But he does say that their expulsions happened, right?
It wasn't a policy, though. It was.
But there were orders. There were direct orders that are documented.
Orders, but it wasn't a...
Including one that came from Ben Gurion, kind of implied wink.
It was not. No. It was not a policy, because if it was a policy, you would have no Israeli Arabs in the north today. Which is why...
No, it was not a widespread policy, you're right.
You're right. It was not a widespread policy, but some generals saw that it needed to happen, and some didn't. Even after the war ended, they allowed some Palestinian Arabs back into the land to be together with their families. So there is you could say our version of history is bullshit, fine. We were lied to. We were actually savages. Okay, whatever. It's a war.
I'm not saying we're savages, John. I'm trying to make it more nuanced.
Right. But I think that even with that history, I think when I came in here and I heard you with the various 1948 news story and narrative, I think there is I happen to know more. And there's a lot more nuances within the Palestinian story that I don't think they even want to talk about, especially around what was the major quote-unquote massacre that happened? They always highlight Deir Yassin, even that.
Cantora?
There's a lot.
Blood, there were many.
No. Deir Yassin's the main one. Deir Yassin was the one that kicked all of this off. Lots of Palestinians, because of the propaganda that was spread by both Israelis and Palestinian Arabs after, a lot of them got scared and they left on their own volition.
Yeah, and I mentioned that. Some of them, their atrocities were committed and it scared them off, right?
Right, that's how the majority of them actually left, because they were scared off. But
So those numbers are debated, John. Would you agree that it's every historian has a slightly different figure?
The battle at Deir Yassin, the
No, John, there is, some of these figures are debated. How many were expelled, how many fled, how many were,
What's not debated, what's actually written in a book by an Israeli Jewish historian that actually took most of his sources from Palestinian Arabs themselves, was a book written about Deir Yassin and what actually happened there. And mind you, I'm going to pinpoint this because a lot of people will say, well, he was just a really Jewish guy, whatever, he's religious. Most of his sources were Palestinian Arabs themselves that were either there or there right after. And they're saying how it was not really a massacre, it was way more of a battle than was previously thought. The specifics around what happened there is not what the main Arab propaganda at the time said that happened. There were no rapes. There was no mass killing of people being lined up and hacksawed to death and all that. But that propaganda spread, and a lot of Palestinian Arabs were scared of that, and then they left. And then there was no other surrounding Arab villages that came in and helped out. So I'm just saying, and I'm going to put a bow on this right now, and then you guys can have a conversation about this. There was a lot more issues within Palestinian Arab society around being together, around nationalism, around staying in the land. They were selling land constantly up until 47, 48. Even after 48, they were selling land. So this whole history of this place is a lot more nuanced, a lot more distinct than the larger Palestinian narrative like to say today.
Okay. Firstly, oh my god, I don't know where to even begin. Because when you started this conversation, you said in many areas, okay, fine, Palestinians left, whatever. That's the problem. The narrative has always been okay, yeah, so what, Palestinians suffered, but this is what happened with the Zionists. And by the way, I never use the word Jews because I don't think Judaism is, a synonym for Zionism. I think they're two very far off ideologies. I think the actual people who have read the Torah know that they have to have by the word of God. They have to be in exile until the return of the Messiah, but I'm not going to do that at the moment. Right. So number one, the downplaying of the pain of Palestinians is before the Savior knows. You said like, oh, what if they must have also been brought up the truth. The problem is that is what the world has seen all this time till we have just had new exposure of the social media. All they have seen is one side of the coin, is one side of the narrative. All they have seen is like, oh, Zionism because people are suffering, people are suffered, but completely disregarding the fact that okay, no doubt, people, especially Jews in the Europe, have suffered a lot at the hands of atheists and white Christian nationalists, right? Not at the hands of Muslims, but somehow it's all between the Chinese Muslims of 1947. It's all between the problem of Palestinians, who were the only ones, by the way, that welcoming people with open arms, right? And now, okay, they were selling their land because they were being forced to sell their land. In many cases, they had to sell their land because it was like, okay, either get a little bit of money or get nothing at all. In which case, it was better to get a little bit of money than to get nothing at all. All of this had been going on for a very long time. By the way, and this is again, I'm talking about Zionism, I'm not talking about Jews, because Jews have been residing in Palestine for over eons. Nothing had been destroyed, nothing had been touched. In fact, all the churches, all the mosques, everything was saved. Even under the Ottoman Empire, for 800 years, the key stayed safeguarded, and that finally has been destroyed under the regime of Israel, right? So, when at the end, just shut up. Anyway, just when at the
Because you're lying. That's a lie.
I got this.
Okay, yeah, I'm lying, and you're the self-proclaimed, Messiah. Anyway, like this narrative, the world has always seen this narrative. So when finally Palestinian stories are finding light, and we have not only seen it, you mentioned a few books, but I can also mention a few books and practically names as well. We have people like, I know you guys love calling them self-hating Jews or whatever the name is. Like we have people like, Noam Chomsky, Norman Finkelstein, we have Gabor Matter, we have Ilan Pappé, we have so many people who have done so much research.
Buttercup.
Cora, you have four. You have the four that he named, and maybe five. That's it. That's the one.
40% of American Jews think is a genocide.
Does the 1 minute mic apply to Cora as well, or no?
1 minute? Sorry, John. I don't think you talk only for 1 minute. Sorry, Em.
I got this. You can go on and on and on.
Everybody.
Sorry. This is what I mean. The narrative has. There's a very famous saying in Urdu, right? It says, "Lashkar bhi tumhara, akhbar bhi tumhara. Tum jhoot ko sach likhte ho, sarkar bhi tumhara." Which means like the mob is yours, the leader is yours. Even if you want to portray false as right, the leader is yours, the newspaper is yours. This has been happening since forever, right? The narratives are finally coming out, and that's why it's so important to tell the Palestinian stories now more than ever. And we're seeing it in real time. This is genocide unfolding, and all I can hear in this book is like, yeah, it is, but whatever. What if you guys would like to?
It's not a genocide.
Okay. Let's not even start with that. Okay.
I just want to claim that because
no, John,
that rhetoric gets people here hurt.
John, you had your time. It's my time to speak, right?
The sarcastic terrorism argument where you can't be critical of Israel or Jews is just because people do bad things. You can say that about any group, and it's not.
Okay, you play both sides of the fence. Shut up.
I feel like that non-normal guy did the same thing. He was like very clear words from his mouth. Palestine, bad, me, good. That's not how the world works, and that's not an actual argument, right? In order to actually say that, okay, this is what happened, you need to give some weighing evidence. You need to support it with weighing evidence. Palestinians were in that land. Palestine has always existed. Israel, on the other hand, has never existed. And when you name the world Israeli, then that was a prophet, that was on the piece of land. Now Israel came to existence after the Balfour Declaration, right? And when was it signed by Rothschild? Let's not even go into that rabbit hole. Let's not even begin to. But before that, there was another piece of land that was kind of like a British mandate, British plan to unfold, which was the Madagascar plan. But okay, finally, because it was a good area strategically to place your allies and to place the army, very convenient to do that. Like, you know what?
This is all bullshit. Palestine didn't exist any more than Israel did. Like, this is so fucking retarded.
Hold on, Cora. What's the main gist? You're going all over the place.
I will give you so many proofs that Palestine has always existed.
I don't care.
The
It's
country of-
fine.
It might not be the country of Palestine because the
Cora, are you like have a monologue going or what?
Laura,
You have a monologue
here's the
going.
deal.
It's been 15 minutes.
John has
It's
one of
been
those
15
boys.
minutes.
And John
It's
has one of
not
those
even
boys.
comparable.
No, it hasn't been 15 minutes.
Cora, I never said.
Because I'm not on your side. I'm not speaking on your
I
side.
never
I'm
said.
sorry, honey, the world doesn't revolve around you. It's not your narrative or
Going on
nobody's
way
narrative.
too long monologues because when you bring up a bunch of different points, you don't allow people to respond to your point. Okay, try to keep it at one point so they can respond to your point and then move on. If you just go and this and that and this and that, how are they gonna respond to it?
I love how close, the small Asian one comes out and I'm speaking anyway.
You were speaking for a very long time.
No, John had been speaking for a long time.
You are just galloping. You're just which is where you just keep on going point after point after point. Then nobody can address any single point, and then it becomes like we're just conversation.
That was my conversation to John as well. He mentioned a lot of points, and I said the same thing. I was like, he mentioned point after point after point. I don't know which one to answer first. I know what order. So this does happen when people are going on a tangent. Deal with it. You didn't say anything when he was talking, and that's because I can tell that why that is in the very first place. I know why that is.
I did. I was caught. They've been. They like. There's Zionists on here that have a problem with what I'm saying too. So like, with all due respect.
Let me wrap this up with a bow after you're done, Cora. I'll let you finish, obviously. Are you done?
Well, honestly, I've been interrupted so many times. I gave you the respect to talk uninterruptedly, but I've not been met with the same, what's it called, respect. So, yeah, you go on, you finish up.
I'm sorry that it happened. It was, to be honest with you, it was a little hard to, you were, and I get it, tensions are high, blood pressure's high, whatever, but you were kind of going in and out, but I will try and wrap up the sort of debate here. And if we want to, I don't care what existed before, existed after, and so on and so forth. The way that the world was going back then, and that the way that things happen, bad things happen to good people. Good things happen to bad people, and you get over it. Hold on.
Don't do that.
Don't do what?
Don't patronize the pain of Palestinians.
I'm not patronizing. I'm being. Excuse me, Cora. I'm not patronizing the pain of Palestinians. I know. You don't know me. You don't know where I've been. You don't know where I'm from. Just let me finish what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that when something bad happens to you, you move the fuck on with your life. Everybody on this stage, there's Russian.
The oldest argument that anybody from the Zionist end can produce is like this was probably just 3,000 years ago.
We don't. Hold on. That's a TikTok bullshit thing.
Exactly 3,000 years ago.
Listen to me. That is a TikTok. Everyone that's on this stage that grew up in a Jewish household, you can say a Jewish Zionist household, whatever, that went to your standard Western American Jewish institutions, we're not walking around saying this was promised to us 3,000 years ago, blah, blah, blah. That's some Arab anti-Zionist TikTok bullshit. We don't go around. Hold on. We don't go around. Listen to me. We don't go around saying. We don't go around saying that. I am really Jewish. Everyone here that knows me in this room on the stage has heard me speak for years about this stuff. Like, I know my shit. Okay? And we get Jews in America that come from Russian backgrounds, fucking South African backgrounds, Eastern European backgrounds. We've all had very bad shit done to us in our families, but you know what? We move on. We've all lost houses. Hold on. No. I will tell you why the Palestinians have not moved on. And I will show you that right now.
John, Cora, stop interrupting John. He has a man to explain. He'll not explain, you'll speak.
I'll let my plan in 1 minute. They have not moved on.
We're able to speak longer. So, okay? So don't stay muted, please.
They have not moved on. No one up here remembers any of the color of their napkins, or the way that their dining room was set up back in Moldova, or back in Russia, or back in Poland. No, it's over. That time has passed. We've moved on. Okay? And you want to talk about the Palestinian narrative always being lower and always being buried. That's definitely not the case. The UN was basically set up after that to highlight the Palestinian narrative. There's been decades and decades and decades of terrorism, of intifadas, keeping up the Palestinian narrative as much as possible, all to October 7th, when the best way to make sure the Palestinian narrative is now highlighted amongst the world is to do a massive rape, torture, kidnapping fest, and now great, and now the Palestinian narrative is highlighted, everyone knows it, and you expect us not to do anything about that? Okay? So if you want to talk about like all of this, that they've been oppressed, hold on, that they've been oppressed, in the end, we get ping pong back and forth about the country was this, is Israel, before, hold on, we could do that, we could go back, all right, the country was Israel first, then Palestine, then the Arabs and the Jews came, and blah, blah, blah. What it comes down to is that a bunch of 19, 20, and 21-year-olds, right, and 30-year-olds on drugs in Gaza decided to rape, torture, kidnap, and kill us, right, and hold us hostage and kidnap us under tunnels and starve us for over a year. Because their great-grandfather lost a house during a war that they started, and now they're upset today. How about you get the fuck over it, and we move on, and we make peace, so we can actually make some money, fall in love with each other, and have a real fucking society. How about that?
It's very easy to say that when you come from a place where you have actually looted, taken all the resources, and just basically planted your flag illegally, just because the people who were receiving you were nice to you. Just because of that.
We did not plant our flag illegally. It was lawyers that created the country legally.
I did pay you the respect.
Well, you said we were created illegally. I was born there. I wasn't born there illegally, Cora. No, fuck you. I wasn't born there illegally. My parents went there legally, and they had me legally, and I'm an Israeli citizen legally to a real country that existed.
And then you have the right to kick out the people who have been
No, I do not.
for you.
That's not how it
You
works
have
over
the right.
there at all.
Exactly, that's how it exactly works.
No, it doesn't.
You're downplaying the pain of yes,
And I have propaganda. You have Arab propaganda.
Okay, Glo, where's your mediation now?
Go,
Where's your
Cora.
mediation now, Glo?
To be honest, you just literally denied his existence, his every right to defend himself.
Okay.
You just said that he does not belong, he is not legal in his own country. Who are you? Who the fuck are you?
Who the fuck are you, Glo?
Who the fuck are you to say that? You're an Indian. Where are you? You're not from the Middle East. You're not even from the Middle East.
You are not even from the Middle East.
You're not even invited to the fucking
Who are
party.
you?
Get the fuck off the property.
Oh, you shut the
This is a gated community.
Shut the fuck. It's a gated community. Your gated community that you created on the basis of the blood of Palestinians, innocent Palestinians, Palestinian kids. You guys love to beat the drum about October 7th. You guys have been doing
Who's you guys? I'm Iranian. I'm Iranian. Fuck you.
Fuck you. You're an Iranian in diaspora who has this Western pygmy energy, all these
So, Cora, I'm just curious, though.
I don't even know.
Okay, but Cora, let me ask a question. Cora,
listen to me.
Cora, shut the fuck up, bitch. Like, seriously, you're being obnoxious.
You shut the fuck up, okay? And before you disrespect me,
All right, yeah.
which, by the way, I do absolutely
Fucking cunt.
expect from you. Oh, shut the fuck up, you asshole. Right?
Wait, Cora, you're Pakistani or Indian? How was your country created? Curious.
Oh,
When was
I'm
it
not
created?
Pakistani, I'm not Indian, I'm not either. So, there you go.
She just conveniently won't tell people where she's from.
Okay.
Somehow, people are going to look for
Of course
her.
I won't, Pepe, because I absolutely do not want to give up my information for the likes of few people.
I don't
By the way, this October 7th.
I'm just saying.
Okay, if you say that you're Syrian or Pakistani, nobody's gonna fucking be able to figure out who you are. It's so
Every
retarded.
single day it has happened. Every single day it has happened in Palestine. Every single day on October 7th happened.
Every day on October 7th.
Every day.
Every single day, right? Somebody be born.
This is absolutely bonkers.
Shut the fuck up, Glo.
Your mom is just shut the fuck
She's
up.
projecting pick me energy, but it's her.
Oh my god, you
Every
guys are
day
so
of October
clickers
7
for each
happens.
other.
You're
Such
crazy.
clickers for each other.
You are crazy.
God, I am crazy. I am
Insane.
crazy. You
Yes.
keep Palestinians in the world's biggest open-air prison.
Islamic
World's biggest open-air
propaganda.
prison.
Islam is
Wow.
Why are you
Okay,
using
I-
buzzwords?
bitch,
Like we don't have other
bitch,
words to use?
I am not calling you a Jewish propagandist.
Cora,
So
do you
know
know they
not
have
calling me an
like
Islamic
industry in
propagandist.
Palestine?
Don't
Oh, look who's back.
Don't do
Look who's
that.
back, Cora is back.
Don't do that. I did not call
No,
you
I
a
have
Jewish
nothing against
propagandist.
you. Why are you so hostile to me?
Because
You-
you're
I did
disingenuous
not
and
call
I
you.
can't
Shut up,
stand
Em.
you.
I did not call you guys
Don't tell me to
Jewish
shut up.
propagandist. You shut up. I did not call you guys.
No, you're not gonna tell people to shut up.
By the way, the Palestinians have the highest literacy rate in the Arab world. And they
Well,
have
I
the
love
most,
you, I'm sorry that you don't feel it's not mutual. It's okay. I mean,
Do you live in Israel?
my sister does. She lives in the south, and I lived there during the Intifada, the second Intifada.
Do you live there now?
No, my sister does.
Do you live in Israel? But you don't live in Israel now.
No, I live in the States. What about you?
I live in this.
Okay, so twins.
Sure.
But I have family there, and I lived there for a full year, and I visit there a few times, you know?
Yeah, no. Standard Jewish.
I've been in the West Bank.
Have you been to the West Bank?
I have. I've been to Bethlehem.
It's nice, right?
It is. I mean, it's not some parts. I mean, obviously we saw the refugee camp, and then we also saw the nice suburbs, you know? We saw like the marketplace. It's very beautiful parts of it. The other parts are really sad.
Do you think that do Israelis do October 7th to the Palestinians every day? Because that's what a woman just said.
There is violence in the occupation, by definition. Wouldn't you agree? There's daily violence that Palestinians endure, even the ones that don't hate Israel and have a perfectly.
But is there violence from both sides? That they provoke each other? Let's be fair. By shooting rockets at Israel.
So my
They're not
friends who grew up
provoking.
in. Okay, let me answer. Let me think about that. Is there violence from both sides on a day-to-day basis? My friends who grew up in the West Bank and had to deal with the checkpoints, they experience violence in a systemic way on a daily basis. Okay, the Israelis also experience violence
Well,
intermittently, right? I'm not denying that. They have real security concerns. But the Palestinians, it's a systemic violence that they
okay,
experience
so
every day.
systemic
ongoing
violence.
school.
So we clearly saw they can govern themselves after October 7th.
We're talking about the West Bank, which is different than Gaza, Rafi. You have to be able to distinguish between Hamas and Fatah, right? One of them rejects violence as part of their.
What do you mean? We've been talking about Palestine up until now.
No, Rafi said October 7, which was done by by Hamas in Gaza, not by the Palestinians in the West Bank, and he's conflating the two.
No, I said.
Do you think the Palestinians need to do anything to like give up something, or like what agency do they have to make peace, or is it all on Israel to do everything possible?
So John, I don't know if you know me very well, but me and my friend Judy who grew up in the West Bank, we vehemently criticize Hamas. Hamas is responsible for provoking the most right-wing Israeli government in history into what I consider to be genocide, right? Israel is also fully culpable for the way it chose to respond, right? And so, yes, the Palestinian Hamas must be accountable to its people who it acted unilaterally without a vote to go to war against a regime that was outpowered it and that was going to destroy the civilization in Gaza. And that was a choice it made, and it must be accountable to its people. But my interest primarily is in holding our people and our government and our leadership and our institutions accountable for what they did and their choice to respond the way they did, which is a permanent black eye on our history and our culture and our heritage. And it's something that I feel more inclined. The Palestinians, they are holding the government accountable. They must hold the Hamas accountable, and they must that's on them. My responsibility is to my people.
Your thing is, correct me if I'm wrong, you want Israeli Jewish society and maybe the broader Jewish diaspora
To reckon with what they've done, yes.
So we're just opposed on
A real reckoning, yes.
Okay, what do you want us to do?
So I want to see I think for the sustainability of my sister who lives there and her sons who will go into the army, I want to see a future Israel that's not at war anymore, right? And I think to do that, we need to have, there's no government candidates right now, no, prime minister, in sort of the prime minister's race. There's no one who's actually presenting a plan to deal with the like the millions of Palestinians that are under Israeli rule that don't have rights of their own, right? And I think that is at the heart of the conflict, right? We need to, they just kind of give it up, and it's become this indefinite occupation that was supposed to be temporary, now it's become permanent, right? And so millions of people are living in sort of limbo, and I think even right-wingers, even Zionists agree that you can't have people be refugees forever, right? You can't just like have people be in limbo. And their solution to the limbo is, oh, just expel them, resettle them, have voluntary migration or whatever. And my solution would be to give them rights. And so the plan that I've been toying with, that actually Emrose introduced me to, and some other Israelis, this guy, Rodi, he's like this Persian Israeli Zionist guy on the stuff. The plan is basically, it's between 1 and 2 states. Basically, it's like a confederacy where one side is governed by Israelis, the other side is governed by Palestinians, but the borders are open and fluid, so people can move both sides, and you can have residency rights. And there's some, there's very strong protections that prevent tyranny and oppression of minorities. And they have a joint partnership on things like security and resources. And so both parties have a shared interest in fighting terrorism, whether it comes from Jews or Palestinians.
Yeah, I've heard of this. It's going around now.
So I like that plan, but in the interim, John, I think we need to end the occupation, and because it's not sustainable and it's killing us, okay? And it's status quo is killing us. It's led to the worst genocide, the worst massacre of Jews since the Holocaust, and the next one will be worse.
So do you think that every town settlement neighborhood was removed from the West Bank? You think that would not be enough? Like that Israeli government Jews can do? Talking about Ariel, pretty much all of them.
No, that's not what I think. I don't think anyone would really have to move in this confederacy plan. I mean, ideally, I think we should be able to eventually work towards one binational state where everyone can share. Listen, there's 2 people already sharing this land between the river and the sea. It's just a configuration that's not fair to everybody, right? All we're doing is shifting the configuration where we're giving the millions of people that are being rolled over, we're giving them rights. And so no one would move. We would just have a government that has a shared interest in prosecuting terrorists, no matter which side they come from, right? Because they're all in the interest of this. They're all acting in the interest of the sustainability and security of their shared land, and that's what we have to work towards.
But I'm just curious, I get what you're saying, that would be optimal, but do you think it's possible, if you were to do that, that their side would,
instantly massacre the other side?
or no, not they suddenly not have this, necessary in their worldview, like do 180 and not on the downfall of Israel,
So I know many Palestinians, first of all, who don't want to bring down the downfall of Israel.
I'm sure there's a lot of
Even though they have every reason to do that. And they live in the West Bank under a brutal occupation.
But how do you get, whoever comes to power, how do you...
So here's how the math, this is the math I do when people tell me, oh, so many Palestinians are so hateful, and they're trans, they're socialized to kill and etc. Let's start with the 10 million Palestinians who live in Israel. They don't do terrorism, right? They're pretty well integrated, they work for Knesset, they're overrepresented in medicine and pharmacy, right?
Hold on.
Yeah, but they have crime like all quarters.
Hold on, John.
Yes, but in all societies, poor marginalized communities have crime, yes.
Hold on, John. I'll give it to Buttercup. Yeah, there are Arabs that are living amongst with the Israelis. Peacefully, yes, they're ascribed this and that, but they're ascribed everywhere you go.
It's against each other, not against each other.
It's against us and other crimes. Crimes are committed because when an officer has to go in to prevent the crime, it could be an Israeli officer, could be an Arab as an officer. Somebody has to be put in danger to control the crime. Whatever, crime is crime. At the end of the day, no matter how you see it, there's still a ripple effect of crime. But the Arab that is living in Israel went to Israeli school, where they didn't teach you. If you kill 2 Israelis out of 5, how many are left?
Okay, so let's get to that. I know what you're talking about.
How are you gonna re-indoctrinate something
Yes, that's what we're getting to that. So we started with 2 million, right? We have 8 million total. Is that it, or 7 million? Roughly, there's like about equal population, like 8 point something million of each Jews in there.
Okay, so and also if they join, do you believe Israel should become a monarchy state? So it's a Jewish state.
No, it's a confederacy. It's a democracy.
So you wouldn't want it to be. So you wouldn't want Jews to have their own state for just in case of an emergency. If anything happens, they don't deserve their own state. Just in case of another Holocaust happens.
So I don't think.
They should become a monarchy at least. Okay, we bring them into the monarchy system.
I don't know what, more like a king? A monarchy
Yes, like a
system,
Jewish
like
state.
royalty?
Yes, correct. Like a Jewish state, exactly.
Is that what you're advocating for?
Correct. Yeah, I believe there should be a monarchy system.
Interesting. Okay, I mean that's a different one I've never heard before. Most people are like fanatical to want a monarchist. But anyway,
we should have a king.
okay, can I answer your many questions? Okay, so we have 8 million, right? 2 million, they're fine, right? They live in Israel, they're integrated. Sure, there's crime, but there's crime everywhere, and especially in poor areas, right? So fine, move on. So they're fine. They would be integrated into this new government. Next, we have the West Bank. The West Bank, you have people. It's overwhelmingly secular government. They've had a security arrangement already with Israel for 20 years, and it's successfully thwarted terror, right? Because they work with Israel and they hand over their security prisoners, and literally they're working alongside Israel to thwart terror, right? So they already are a perfect candidate to build on the infrastructure, the robust infrastructure that Israel already has, to create a collaborative security arrangement. And when they're both in, and when there's a law that is applied equally and doesn't only target Palestinian terrorism but also targets Jewish terrorism, that you actually have a society with like a shared interest in securing their shared population. And so I really think the Palestinians in the West Bank, which already work, many of them work in Israel and have very, very long-standing business and diplomatic and security coexistence, I think they would be a perfect candidate to be incorporated into Israeli society and participate in this new government that gives everyone equal rights. The only difference between them and the cousins in the West Bank, the cousins to Jerusalem and Israel, is that they don't have health insurance and that they have checkpoints all over the place. And then Gaza is a bigger problem. I don't know what to do about Gaza because I can't imagine that these kids who are living in tents and have rats biting off their face and are living under medical siege and literally emaciated in their families or being killed. I really don't know how they come out of that not hating Israel, right? So it's really hard to deprogram people who literally lived in running barefoot in tents with missiles falling over their heads, right? And so that is like going to be a huge challenge to overcome.
Hold on, maybe those kids like Israel prior to October 7th.
Many of them did. I can show you videos of kids who said they waved to Israeli kids.
Hey, Rabbi, can you add?
They were brought in subsequently to Israel.
Reb, can you add Yehuda?
Yehuda.
He's an audience.
How can I add him?
Oh, well,
Buttercup,
Don't bring them out.
the Confederacy to the Palestinians give up the right of return for.
Oh, that's a great question. So the Confederacy I'm not super familiar with, but in this binational states, basically the immigration law, just like the security law, would apply equally to Palestinians and Jews. So whatever the immigration plan is, there would be some kind of right of return, but it would be one that's reasonable and to account the new state's resources, and is applied equally to both Jewish and Palestinian immigration. And whatever the standard is, like whether you have roots there or whether you have a home that you lost or whatever, there would be certain criteria, but whatever would be even. You know what I mean?
What if that didn't happen?
If what didn't happen, this new state would have a constitution.
What if they got everything, but it wasn't like a right of return?
A right of return.
And maybe there was something similar, but
So the right of return doesn't have to be literally everyone coming back and taking their houses. The right of return could also be financial compensation for what they lost, right? So,
but with all due respect, I think this thing could be solved by money. This would have been solved 50 years ago. It's not financial compensation.
Well, hold on, Bill Clinton.
then why wasn't that? Why haven't they offered financial compensation?
We'll give $30 million to these buildings.
Hold on, Bill Clinton gave them 95% of what they were asking for, which in negotiations were when somebody gets 95% in the
Yes, sir, missed opportunity. That's not disputed. Yes, sir. I
it's a
do.
missed opportunity. You called them as many
That
times.
doesn't mean you shouldn't do it again. You shouldn't try again because there was missed opportunity.
It's by design, if I may jump in, the Palestinian side.
That was my question. Yeah, you didn't complain about the title change, Rocky. Do you know what they for me, Rocky? You didn't translate for you.
He's a good thing.
What does it say? What does it say?
It doesn't speak Hebrew?
I do, but you got it backwards here. Naked, you can see it on my glasses, but what's the point?
It says Neged Ritzacham, that's the title.
Yeah, but I see it in different order than you do. I see it naked with Sacham, Yudim, so it's backwards for me.
Maybe it's like a different line. Well, what does it mean? He doesn't know what his room is.
It's not my room. What are you talking about?
No, Rocky doesn't know. Rocky, I changed the title of him. He doesn't know what it means.
Alright, well, anyways, shenanigans. I'd like to address the topic here because I know the premises by design. I've listened to you quite calm, but I don't know who you are. But I don't like using arguments from authority. I worked in the peace process as a Western diplomat, and I can tell you that nothing is further from the truth. There's a reason why. There's 30 years of reasons why Palestinians didn't get a state, and you could blame 16 of those years on Netanyahu, but you can't blame the rest on Israel. It's just not, the reality doesn't.
We're not doing blame game here. We're
Yeah,
trying to
but
be
you've made a lot of assertions, I think, that I wouldn't concede to you, which is apartheid, genocide, or the starving of people. Obviously, war is bad, but the reality